always seems, for some reason, at least when I travel, that the ride home feels shorter than the ride to the destination. And lock this down in fourth gear, it's a big hill. I am AJ Shaver from Shaver Sales, just doing a little video series here called Rambling from the Road. We're out in central part of the state this morning doing a demonstration for a corporate customer on the log trailers, and just kind of heading back home here now. So just as I drive, I get thinking about things and wish I could write them down, so I brought a GoPro along for the ride and stuck it to the dash, so here we are. Talked about a lot so far. You know, wood processor wise is kind of where I want to go with this version of it. You know, we saw the Halverson processors and we went through that in depth, you know, in one of the other videos here that we're going to post up. But for those of you that don't really care for that version of a processor, being an attachment style processor, my record is 3 quarts an hour. We were doing all big wood 14, 16, 18 inch stuff on a 140. Some people just have it in their head that it's a slow unit because it's a self-loading kind of deal. But you know, we got involved with brute force back in 2019 up in Boonville, New York at an expo. We got signed up as a dealer with them, and super great product, and I'm glad that we were able to get set up as a dealer with them, because it's kind of opened up a whole nother door for us. They do commercial splitters, they do the processors, they do, you know, the skid steer log grapples, they do the firewood bundlers, they do a lot of neat stuff. It's a high quality product. It's very simple. Simple meaning no electronics. You pull a valve, something happens. You know, so troubleshooting wise, if you pull a valve and something squirts, you can go fix it, instead of hitting a button and going, why isn't something happening? And then you need a wiring degree to go through and actually fix your processor. And I do not have a wiring degree, nor do I have the patience to work with electrical wires. So all that being said, it's a really good match for what we do. So when people were kind of thumbing their nose at the Halverson stuff but still wanted a wood processor, you know, I said, hey, if somebody wants to put, you know, my name on top of a check for a big trailer mounted unit, we would definitely sell them a brute force. And you know, we have used their 1624 on the channel pretty exclusively. I think we put 110 hours on it, and we ended up selling it to a guy up in the Poconos. He bought it back in, oh, I want to say the November time frame, and we ordered up an 1824 diesel. So it's not the next one up. The next one up is an 1824 gas, but we ordered the diesel version, so we kind of went up 2 steps. And what we did with this one being a 49 horse diesel, we put an extra pump stack on it, and we're actually going to use one motor, that diesel motor, to run the processor, to run the cleaner, and to also run the new radius axle stacking conveyor. We actually went ahead and upgraded. We had a 25-foot stacking conveyor, and we upped it to a 30-footer because I want to be able to load tri-axle dump trucks, or make a bigger pile, or just kind of have a little bit more utility out of it, just from it being able to go up a little bit higher. I don't need it high for the bag, just because the top of the bag loops, I think, sit right around 7 feet, so I want to drop that in, you know, pretty much as low as possible. But when it comes to loading tri-axles and stuff, we wanted to be able to have the height to it. So it seems industry standard on conveyors. The overall length is also your height. So at, you know, a 30-foot conveyor, we should easily reach 15 feet. And I think my tri-axle dump truck is somewhere around a 10-foot side, so it should give me enough to get into the middle of the truck to do an even fill on it. You know, kind of what led me towards the brute force lineup was the all hydraulic setup. You know, the live deck goes up and down hydraulically, the conveyor goes up and down hydraulically. You know, the new 1824 that's on its way in, it has a hydraulic folding conveyor. It actually comes forward scorpion tail like to cover the splitter chamber. So I think that's going to be really neat to have, and I'm not planning on moving it around an awful lot, but we'll see what happens. I like being open to options. So if we're going down the road, I never liked having a tall conveyor sticking off the back of the processor, so this gets everything down to a nice, reduced height with how it folds up and everything. And you look at some of the Dynas, there's like a cable and chain system that holds the conveyor up. You have a processor with a huge hydraulic pump, put like an extra valve on it, and figure it out with cylinders and whatnot. Because, I mean, literally we can set this processor up in a couple of minutes and just unhook it from the truck, pull that forward, hit a couple of valves, drop everything, set up, and then just start processing firewood. Everything kind of comes back to me working really hard to be lazy. Just as a one-man band, I don't have the time or the patience for cables and winches and chains and that kind of thing. So the hydraulics really helped me out. The other reason I went to the brute force stuff was, again, the simple design. I've looked at some of the Cord Kings, some of the Bells, and yeah, to have one joystick and 14 buttons on it that all do something and have some automated features and whatnot, as long as that's working, it's probably pretty sweet. I don't process wood every day, so if a mouse decides to move into a control panel and kind of start nesting up in between some wires, I really don't have the troubleshooting time or ability to go through a switch panel and try to trace down wires and figure out why something isn't working. I like the simplistic view of pull a lever, something doesn't happen, you find oil, you fix where it broke, and you move on with life. We have a really nice hydraulic shop that's close to the house, so if I break a hose, they can pretty much make anything in minutes. So that comes in really, really handy. Also, it's a really, really heavy-duty built processor. Nice full welds, not chintzy little stitch welds on some stuff. The processors themselves have some real weight to them. It's a rounded log trough going in, versus anything square or flat. It's a nice heavy chain that's bringing it in on the live deck. They're using a torsion axle, underneath the processor and on some of the splitters, so they tow really well going down the road. Should you be one that goes mobile to process other people's firewood or split wood. And I think the final thing with it that really sold me was Josh's powder coating. You spend this kind of money on either a splitter or a processor, you want it to be around for a while. And we had that big resplit splitter with the box wedge and the pullback arm, and we put probably 20-30 hours on that. It looked just like new when we sold that off to a guy down in Maryland. So we didn't get a whole lot of usage on that, but the 1624 processor, we had every bit of 110, 120 hours on it when Hoffman came out and bought that, and it looked good. We put 100, 150 cord across it, maybe more. Didn't really keep track of it at that point, but I know we were filling the firewood bags in about 5 to 7 minutes, and the processor didn't really have a whole lot of idling time on it, so you can kind of do the math based on the engine hours and production speed. We were moving some firewood, and all of the paint was still on all the key locations, even down in the splitter trough itself, where all the firewood scraping going by, it was still red. The infeed trough coming through, it was still red. The conveyor with the chains going up and down and everything's dragging across it, it was still black. Even the disc cleaner that I have over at the house, in the inside of that, it's still red and black. Even on the paddles as they're turning around, bouncing firewood, it's still red. I mean, it's an impressive powder coat. He does a really good job, and for those of you that do any kind of body work or powder coating, it's all in the prep time and making sure it's clean, baking it on, at the right temperature, and Josh does a spectacular job with the powder coating. And, we put this kind of money into an investment. I want it to be around for a while, and I don't have any plans of selling this 1824 because we really optioned it out. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag without showing some video on it first, but I think you're going to be impressed with what it looks like and what we what we did to it and how we dressed it up. It's basically the not so little brother to the next one up, which is the 24-24 splitter. So you know, we'll do a walk around video when it gets here. It should be here probably, I'm hoping, in a week or two. I got some pictures of it. It was just going through final assembly. But out there in good old Dorchester, Wisconsin, I think it was about -36 for a high. And I don't really blame Josh for not going outside and doing some product testing at -36 degrees. So give him a little bit of slack on that one, but hopefully it gets here soon. I'm kind of going through some sawdust withdrawal. I haven't had some good firewood processing therapy since November, and it's beginning of February here now. So if I twitch a little bit, that's what it's from. And but I can't wait to get it here and plug in that big cleaner and plug in the new stacking conveyor. It'll look the same, just be another 5 feet longer on it. So but no, we're trying to order up some splitters to get them here, you know, get set up as a stocking dealer, you know, for brute force, and run some stuff, you know, right off our wood lot, you know, versus you calling them and ordering stuff up. Just have it sitting here ready to go. But just working on the financing and some logistics piece on that one, just giving you a heads up. And because it's always amazing that we get the phone call, do you sell this stuff? Yeah, we sell everything that you see on the channel. I'm not just doing this because I'm lonely and need friends. We're trying to do this to promote a product and just share some thoughts and insights on why we do what we do and how we do it. And it's always funny that you get the phone call, do you sell these? Yeah, pretty sure that's why I give you my email that says sales@shaverequipment.com, and give you the phone number to talk to for a sales quote on whatever it is that you're watching. So, but yeah, looking to do a little bit more here with the brute force stuff coming in. I know these log loader trailers have really been a staple for us, but it's also the only thing that I've been putting on Facebook and YouTube here recently. So hopefully once I get the processor back in stock, you know, we'll be featuring that a lot and talking, you know, firewood versus just log loader trailers. And but yeah, pretty much run out of steam on this one, or at least losing the train of thought again as I'm bouncing all around these country roads. So I'll probably call it a wrap before somebody gets road sick by watching me bounce around. So, because this is Northeast PA, with the frost has now moved into the road, so they are anything but smooth, and I'm driving a 1-ton pickup truck. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on our YouTube channel. And yes, please, if you're looking for something to buy in relating to firewood, give me a call, 833-SPLITTER. That's 833-775-4887. And you can also email me. It's sales@shaverequipment.com. And we hope to hear from you soon. And thanks for watching.